John Knoll had a need for a product, and Thomas Knoll had the ability to create that product. And it was that combination of the two working together that brought the beginnings of Photoshop.
The birth of Photoshop came from a whole series of coincidences. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, exposed to the right things at the right time. Tom was working on his thesis, and I happened to get a tour from him on what he was doing at the same time as being exposed to the computer graphics department here.
Pretty amazing experience, actually, and I have one sort of recollection where we were sort of speaking in half sentences and never actually said what we were talking about, but we both knew exactly what we were talking about.
You put the two gasoline and fire, an explosion happens, and then we're lucky enough to be in the right place to get Photoshop and bring it into Adobe.
There's a point at which, once we release the game, it almost becomes the community's game, and we become the curators of the experience. We're responsible for preserving the experience, for refereeing it, making sure that the design rules that we set up are actually promoting a good, fair, entertaining experience. When somehow things become exploitive or the rules aren't serving fun gameplay, then we move in and try to fix them. Ultimately, we're here to serve the community at that point. It's almost not ours.
We've asked, customers how is it helping you, or how has M-Pesa affected your life, and some have come back and said, oh no, I save up to 3 hours of my time per Ascend transaction, because before I used to have to get the bus, go do this, go do that, and what are you doing with that time? And they say they're using it for more economic driven activities. I'm spending more time on the farm. Yeah, I don't need to go to the market to sell this or to buy that, because I can just transact. And when asked to put it into monetary, they say they're saving up to $3 US dollars an hour per transaction as well. When you think about the cost of the bus fare or the time that they've taken away from economic activities like farming, and they've had to put into, I'm going to take money wherever I have to take money. So it's been very gratifying, very good.
One of the most important moments in the history of Wikipedia, in my view, was September 11th, 2001. So keep in mind, Wikipedia launched in January. We had a small community. We were busily working along, and people were doing things. And I got up that morning like everybody did, and flicked on the television. And all day long on television, it was just the same thing all day long. The video running over and over, the planes crashing into the towers, interviews with pundits who were wildly speculating on who knows what. Nobody really knew anything. Information was just barely beginning to emerge at all about what had happened and where and so on. And in Wikipedia that day, people started to write things like the entry on the World Trade Center, on the actual building, the history of the building, who was the architect, when was it built, why was it built, things like what are all the airlines who were involved that day, who's the CEO of that airline, the town in Pennsylvania where the plane went down, things like that. And I suddenly realized, wow, this is actually something that, you could go to all the news sites and get the latest blurb from the latest, the government spokesperson who would come out to say something. But what you weren't getting was that kind of background information.